Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
You know, the worst part about losing 10 or more pounds is looking back at your pictures from last summer or a year ago and realizing how chunky your face looks compared to how it looks now. Hey everybody, Joe Simons, Like Diamonds, back again, Salt Strong Unchurched. And yeah, this one is about weight and weight loss. I've done one before on this where I was struggling with it. And who would have known that a torn bicep and 2 surgeries later would have actually helped me lose quite a bit of weight and keep it off, which is why I've been waiting to do this one. So I did mention as I kicked this podcast off, like the bad thing is, you know, that you look chunkier, fatter in your past pictures, but is well worth it. It's nice when people, well, you've lost enough weight where people even comment and bring it up when they haven't seen you in a while. Not to mention more energy, more stamina. I have to imagine more longevity in general. I know you can't guarantee that when you lose weight, but in general, when you lose weight, things tend to work longer and you live longer. So here's the backstory, and here's why I'm doing this. I've just got back from ICAST a little while ago, and I had a lot of people I hadn't seen in 2 years because I missed last ICAST. I was in Croatia on a really epic trip, and so I hadn't seen a lot of these people in 1 to 2 years, and amazing how many people like went out of their way to say, "Man, you've definitely lost some pounds. Like, what's the secret? Are you on one of these, drugs or whatever?" I was like, "No, just drug free." And I told them the story, and not everyone, but a large amount of people are like, "Man, you got to share that. Like, you got to put that on Facebook or somewhere." That's an incredibly easy and simple way to lose weight, almost like a new diet. And so here's what it is. So if you don't know, I tore my bicep, a boating accident, and it was enough where it ripped so hard, completely torn. And the MRI, the 2 surgeons I went to go see, I got a second opinion. They're both like, "Yeah, at your age, you have to do surgery. Like it's pretty jacked up." And I've been dealing with carpal tunnel for, a decade. I've just been too lazy to go get the carpal tunnel surgery. I mean, every night while I'm sleeping, my hand falls asleep. It's numb, it's tingling. It even affects my fishing, it affects driving. Anything I do, I basically, in my right hand, it was falling asleep. So I got a BOGO surgery, if you can believe it. My insurance was going to pay for it for free. And the surgeon's like, "Man, you're already going to be under in the bicep surgery. It's going to be your right arm. Let's go ahead and knock out both of these things." So got the 2 surgeries, and it was a way worse recovery than I thought. Even the hand part, because it was a pretty severe carpal tunnel, they had to go in a way bigger incision to free up a lot of the stuff that went all the way up into my hand, not just like that wrist where a lot of simple carpal tunnel, they do a small incision on the wrist. And so, 3 months of 3 full months, actually 3 months and I guess 2 weeks of physical therapy and having to take it easy, and obviously wore a brace for a lot of it. And that first month I was in essentially a cast. I mean, I could not move that right arm from, a little bit below my shoulder all the way to essentially my fingers. This thing was a full-on annoying cast. And because of that, I'm right-handed. I couldn't eat normally. I couldn't, cut a steak. I couldn't honestly do anything with my right hand. I couldn't even brush my teeth because I was in this like pretty firm kind of, it wasn't a true cast. I could take this thing off, but I essentially had to wear it 24/7 even while I slept. And so I was having to do everything left-handed, including eating. And so to give you an idea of my normal eating habits, I am one of those that just kind of scarfs food down. I eat a lot and I eat fast, and I usually have a little bit of dessert because I like dessert. Who doesn't like dessert? There's ice cream in the freezer. I'll take a couple little scoops. Pretzels, one of my all-time favorites. I'll have a few pretzels before I go to bed as a little dessert. And that's just what I did. I didn't really think I needed to lose weight. I mean, I kind of knew I did, but it wasn't like, oh man, a huge goal of mine. But as soon as I switched to my left hand, because I was forced to, guess what happened? I started eating so slow. And all of a sudden, my body, which normally was used to me just plowing food down my throat, and it never registered that it was full. That's why I would have room for dessert. When I started eating so slow because I had to, and I couldn't even use my right hand at all. So imagine having chicken or steak or anything you had to cut up. It was like I had to get help. Even a salad, like everything was just painfully slow. But what I found pretty quickly, in just a week or so, I was like, man, I'm actually full. Like I don't need any more, because normally I might take that meal down in 5 minutes, and it was taking me 35 or 40 minutes in some cases. In the beginning, it was just painfully slow. Because I'm just one of those, I like momentum, I like getting stuff done. I'd rather sit there and talk than be a slow eater. I've changed my attitude on that a little bit since I was forced to eat slow. But yeah, the slow eating kind of, one, it let my mind catch up to my stomach to say, oh, hey, Joe, you're actually full. And there were times where I had amazing looking desserts in front of my face, and it didn't even take any self-control to say no, because I was just legitimately full. Like I was like, I don't even think I need anything. I'm actually like stuffed. Whereas before I would have been still famished, of course, because I would eat so fast and would scarfed it down. So long story short, I can't work out. So put yourself in my shoes. I can't go to the gym, can't work out, can't really do much of anything. And by the way, I also ended up having some skin cancer stuff on one of my legs removed. So I had, 14 stitches there. So I'm not allowed to be like out, not even supposed to be like walking or do anything strenuous. So I got 2 weeks of can't do any exercise, can't go outside and even like walk around the neighborhood. And yet I started shedding pounds because of this slow eating, did nothing else. No exercise, the least amount of exercise I've done in a really long time, and did nothing else but eat, I would say, smaller meals and take my time eating. And I wasn't the type of person that even really weighed myself that often. I don't know if subconsciously I was embarrassed or didn't want to face my weight or whatever. I just didn't. But my wife had said something. She's like, man, you look like you lost a few pounds. Like, oh, get on the scale. I was like, whoa, it is like 5 or 6 at the time. And then 5 or 6 went to 8 or 9, and 8 or 9 went to 10, 11. Then it got up to 15, and I'm right around that 13, 14 pounds right now. That's when people start noticing it. I think 10, people started saying stuff, but it that 14, 15, like even my friends who see me all the time are like, whoa, dude, you just shedded some pounds. Like your face looks thinner and more chiseled. I don't have chiseled abs yet, but I don't know, it felt really good. And when I started looking back at some of those old pictures, like, man, even looking at the pictures from a year ago when I missed ICAST in that Croatia trip, I was like, man, look how chunky my face looks. And so I wanted to make sure I could keep it off, because that is probably the biggest problem with any sort of diet, even though this wasn't a true diet. But I've challenged some other people to do it, and I can't speak on the results yet, but so far it's positive, where I've challenged some friends and acquaintances that have told me they've struggled with every day. I was like, just try eating with your opposite hand for 30 days and see what happens. Like, meaning pretend your other hand is not there. Like if you really needed to cut a steak or something, try it, but almost pretend like that other hand is not there. It will force you to eat so slow. It'll slow everything down. You actually have better conversations at the dinner table. There was nothing but good things that came from this. And so I've now been off it for whatever, or on this diet or whatever for 90 days. I am eating with my right hand. If that's a question you're asking, like, hey, did he switch back? I have switched back to my right hand, so I'm doing normal, but I'm now using some self-control just to be slower, meaning a slower eater and taking my time. And I'm finding myself just like I was when it first happened, when I couldn't use my right hand. I'm just getting full quicker, and I'm not dying to have dessert, and I'm not going to bed starving. You know, like I'm starving myself. I'm just kind of normal, like what should feel like normal. Whereas before I'd eat so fast and I would still think I was full, and I'd have that dessert, and then I'd always feel like bloated and like, ugh. And obviously, the easiest way to lose weight is fewer calories. And when you don't have to have dessert and you still feel very full, man, that's just, could be 200 to 600 or even 1,000 fewer calories, depending on what kind of dessert you're having every single night. And that stuff adds up. So that is really it. That's just eat with your opposite hand. Act like the other one's not there for 30 days. Do nothing else. No more exercise. You don't have to change your diet. I mean, I'm still drinking the same amount of beers. I'm literally did nothing else. So I didn't cut out anything that I liked. I've had pizza multiple times, and even then, I normally might have 3 or 4 pieces. And now, and I'm talking about the normal size, like, Pizza Hut, not like the huge big pan ones. Don't think I'm a complete glutton. But I would have 2 pieces and be full, like be the exact same full as I was with 3 or 4, because I was eating so slow with my left hand. So I cut out nothing that I really, really love, not a single thing, just eating slower. And that's fewer calories. And to kind of tie this all back into the Bible never mentions like being fat. It obviously uses the word fat or overweight. It not even as a sin. It does talk about, gluttony, which is overeating or overindulgence, which, is associated with laziness and poverty. And obviously the Bible does mention that quite a few times, being lazy and in poverty, because, we were eating too much and a glutton and just won't even get up and do work. But I will say the energy is better. Obviously, it even just the confidence feels better when people notice and mention it to you, like, oh man, you look great. You look like you lost pounds. So I would try it regardless if you need to lose 10. Most of us, not everyone, but I'd say the majority of Americans do need to lose 10, some 20, 30, 40, some 100, whatever the number is. Try it for 30 days for all 3 meals, not just one. Try it for 30 days and do nothing else. Keep eating the same stuff. Just go super slow with your opposite hand, unless you're ambidextrous, and just try to purposely go slow. But for me, I'm right-handed, my left-handed. Eating was way slower, like 60% slower, if not more. And it was an absolute game changer. So enough people mention it, like, hey, you got to tell everyone how you did it. And especially if you don't have to like change your diet. So that's the thing I think most people hate about diets, and why most diets don't work is you got to change everything. And you're really craving your favorite stuff, whether it be pretzels or popcorn, or 2 of mine. Still eat pretzels, still eat popcorn, just smaller amounts. It's the slow eating is just enabled me to have maybe a smaller stomach, and smaller amounts do the same job now. Really, really crazy. So thought I'd share it. Let me know if you guys have any other tips. Hit me up, joe@saltstrong.com. I'd love to hear any of your stories on things that have worked well for you. And if you try this, let me know. I'd love to hear feedback if you have tried for 30 days or longer, on what it does for you or your family or a loved one who you think might use it. Pass it on. The old opposite hand eating for 30 days. Do nothing else. Don't exercise more. Don't change your diet. Just eat with your other hand. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll talk to you on the next episode.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.